All right. Story time about how I learned that your mind is really your best friend in life. When I was younger, like when I was a teenager and whatnot, I was known to have like the gift of gab. Basically, I can have a conversation with just about anybody, especially once I've warmed up to that person. But I was also known to be a bit sarcastic and a little bit of a smartass at times. So naturally, that would lead to me receiving interactions that, for lack of a better term, I did not anticipate. One of those times occurred when I was in high school as a teenager. I was in a class that basically preps you for college. Like taking your SATs, your ACTs, getting your college applications together, the whole nine yards. Any and everything involved with preparing you the best you could possibly be for college is what this class entailed. Something that was very prevalent within the duration of the class was the utilization of your critical thinking skills. Basically, your ability to look at a problem and without having a clear cut answer, finding it. Now, as you could tell, or maybe not, depending on if we have like minds or not, that could kind of be interpreted as presenting your own process and even a little bit of your own personality if you choose to. Every problem has nuance to it. No two people experience the same exact thing, or at least they perceive it that way. So it's kind of like one of those type of things. Now, we basically had a think exercise where you had to write a future letter to yourself. But the catch was you had to kind of envision how you would already be in the future. Now, being like 14 years old, everybody thinks of their older self as like a pseudo super rich millionaire, in the best shape of their life. They got everything going on, the whole nine yards, right? Nice supermodel wife, beautiful cars, living on a villa or some shit. That's the ideal life, right? Or so I thought. I kid you not. As I brought my paper to the pencil, I literally froze because I had no idea what to say at all. I'm not saying I couldn't think of anything to say, but I literally thought the thought to myself, I have no idea for my future. At 14 years old, I literally had no idea what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be, the type of life I wanted to lead. I had no idea. And at that moment, I was surprised, dumbfounded. A little bit of scaredness washed over me. And I know what you're thinking. You're 14, dude. How could you know what you want to do? Like, who would know that? You know? Like, you probably just think, oh, I want to make video games or something, that kind of highlights your current life and day to day. But this was different. It was the fact that I just couldn't even think of anything at all. I couldn't even fabricate a life. I just had nothing. But that's when I thought about it. I couldn't think of anything. And in that moment, I had a wave of relief that told me that because I couldn't think of anything, that means that anything could be. And in that moment, that's when the fireworks went off. I didn't have the words for it then, but in that moment, I realized that everything I experience, everything I do, everything I ever will do and become will be a byproduct of what I visualize and envision in my mind. If I believe something to not be the case, then how could it? For example, if you wanted to be great at whatever it is you wanted to be great at, if you don't believe that you can't be, then how could you be? You literally don't believe it, so you can't be it. Whereas someone that does reach that level in whatever endeavor they pursue, they are brought there by their belief and their discipline to follow through and show up each and every day. And that type of profound truth is found through all of us, even a 14-year-old. So I think that is a great lesson that I've learned in life. And if you're wondering what I ended up writing down about what I wanted to be in the future, I wrote down that I might as well become a comedian because it's funny how ridiculous I find this question to be. Like I said, I was 14 and quite a smartass. The point of this, though, wasn't about how much of a cool, quote unquote, person I was trying to be back then, but what I realized before I even put that pencil to the paper. And I hope that resonates with you, or at the very least, you can understand where I'm coming from. And with that, I'll leave you with that.